Hello, everybody, and we're going to take a look at number 19 on our list of the greatest checkmates of all time, or at least my favorite checkmates of all time. Now, this one is pretty interesting. It's called Anastasia's Mate, and it's something that usually you have to have done to you to learn about it, but I'm going to show it to you first, and once you see it, don't go bragging about it. Don't do anything like that. I want you to just focus on learning it and then trying to surprise somebody with it. So you can kind of just keep it to yourself when you learn the Anastasia's Mate. You can smile when you see your opponent hoping he'll fall for it, but don't tell anybody you know it. All right, so let's take a look at first. I'd like to look at the definition of Anastasia's Mate. So here, in Anastasia's Mate, a knight and rook team up to trap the opposing king between the side of the board on one side and a friendly piece on the other. Often the queen is first sacrificed along the A file or H file to achieve this position. Now, normally what's used is the knight and the castle. And so let's take a look at the knight and the castle here. So there they are, not really being friendly to each other, but they work together. And actually, let's find a better picture. How about, yeah, there we go. There's the knight looking strong, and the castle behind him. So they're going to work together to get this mate on the enemy king. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of the positions we have here. And right there, okay. So this is a pretty basic Anastasia's Mate. Right now it's white to move, and can you guess the first move? Remember, the knight and the rook are going to be working together, and even that queen is going to be part of it. So pause the video if you need to guess. Okay, if you said knight check, you're correct. That's a forcing move. It forces the king to move in the corner. Now here's the tough part. But now here comes kind of a sacrificing move that will work great. Pause the video if you need to find this. Okay, hopefully you found the move. Now, if you thought the best move here was rook to h1 threatening mate, you're not correct. Not a bad move. I mean, it is threatening mate, but remember, black can, just block it for now. But there is a better move that guarantees the win right away. If you said queen takes h7, you were correct. That forces a take, and of course, what's that final move that gets the rook involved? Pause it if you need to, and then come back. Okay. If you said rook h1, you were correct. What a fantastic way to, to win a game. So let's take a look at another one. Now, this one is kind of embarrassing. In fact, I had a game where I lost to Anastasia's Mate a while ago, and I'm trying to remember what I did with that game. I'm trying to remember kind of if I kept it or I can't remember. But anyway, this is a game that was kind of like the game I lost. It was so embarrassing because it was during the pandemic where I was wearing a mask and I kind of had a hoodie, and I played this pretty bad move here that allowed an Anastasia's Mate. So here's my move, queen here. It was something like this. And at this point, I realized what I had done wrong and saw that my opponent, who was playing white, can do Anastasia's Mate. And then a lot of my students came over to kind of watch the game. And I was so embarrassed, but I was kind of hiding with my mask and my hood. Do you see the move that he did on me? Do you guys see it? Pause the game if you need to. Pause the video and come back. Okay, I hope you see it. I can do it with either knight, but knight to e7 check. That's a forcing move. It forces my king in the corner. And now it was his move again. Do you guys see the move? Anastasia's Mate. Here it goes. And of course, king takes. And what's the final move? Pause the video if you need to. Go ahead. All right, if you said rook to h4, you were correct. And that's how he checkmated me. Now, of course, I didn't let that happen. Once he reached for his knight, like he had it in the air, I went ahead and picked the pieces up, and I shook his hand, said good game, and I tried to escape. A lot of the kids, I didn't want them to see me, and they were kind of looking at me, wondering who I was, and I'm not sure, but they were kind of looking at me like this. A lot of my students, and I wound up losing the game. Pretty bad, but did I get revenge from that game? Well, that's another story for another time. But this was number 19 on our list of the greatest checkmates of all time. Not that game, but just overall Anastasia's mate, which is something that if you learn, it's pretty awesome. But normally you learn it by somebody doing it to you. All right, guys, we'll see you next for the number 18 on our list of the greatest checkmates of all time.